Vasudeva Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaya Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 19, Text 28 onwards. Shri Uddhava Vacha Yama Kati Vidha Prokto Niyamo Vari Karshana Kah Shama Kodama Krishna Ka Titiksha Dhriti Prabhu Kim Danam Kim Tapah Shoryam Kim Satyam Mritamuchyate Kastyaga Kim Dhanam Cheshtam Ko Yagya Kacha Dakshina Punsa Kim Sidbalam Shriman Bhago Labhascha Keshava Ka Vidya Hari Para Kashri Kim Sukham Dukham Ivcha Ka Pandita Kascha Murkha Ka Pantha Utpathascha Kaha Kah Swargo Naraka Kah Sritko Bandhurut Kim Griham Ka Adya Ko Daridro Bha Kripana Kah Ka Ishvara Etan Prashnanamam Bruhi Vipritansh Satvate. Shri Uddhav said, My dear Lord Krishna, chastiser of the enemies, please tell me how many types of disciplinary regulations and regular daily duties there are. Also, my Lord, tell me what is mental equilibrium, what is self-control, what is the actual meaning of tolerance and steadfastness, what are charity, austerity, and heroism, and how are reality and truth to be described, what is renunciation and what is wealth. What is desirable, what is sacrifice, and what is religious remuneration? My dear Keshav, O most fortunate one, how am I to understand the strength, opulence, and profit of a particular person? What's the best education? And what's actual humility? And what is real beauty? What are happiness and unhappiness? Who is learned and who is a fool? What are the true and false paths in life? And what are heaven and hell? Who is indeed a true friend and what is one's real home? Who is a rich man and who is a poor man? Who's wretched and who's actual controller? O Lord of the devotees, kindly explain these matters to me, along with their very opposites. Wow, so many questions he asked. Let's see. All of the items mentioned in these 5 verses are defined in different ways by different cultures and societies throughout the world. Therefore, Shuddhav is directly approaching the supreme authority, Lord Krishna, to obtain the standard definition for these universal aspects of civilized life. So, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ahimsa Satyam Asteyam Asango Hrira Sanchaya Astikyam Brahmacharyam Cha Maunam Stharyam Kshama Bhayam Shocham Japas Tapo Homa Shraddha Tithyam Madarchanam Tirthatanam Parartheha Tushtir Acharya Sevanam Ete Yama Saniyama Ubhyur Dvadash Smritaha Punsam Upa Sitahastasta Yatha Kamam Duhantihi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, non-violence, truthfulness, not coveting or stealing the property of others, detachment, humility, freedom from possessiveness, trust in the principles of religion, celibacy, silence, steadiness, forgiveness, and fearlessness are the 12 primary disciplinary principles. These primary principles mean that everybody should have them. Everybody who's on the path of devotion service. Internal cleanliness, external cleanliness, chanting the holy names of the Lord, austerity, sacrifice, faith, hospitality, worship of me, visiting holy places, acting and desiring only for the supreme interest, satisfaction, and service to the spiritual master are the 12 elements of regular prescribed duties. These 24 elements bestow all desired benedictions upon those persons who devotedly cultivate them. So this word, cultivate them, means we have to work on these qualities in ourselves. They're not just going to appear on their own. Of course, these are the qualities of the soul. These are all the divine qualities. They're the basic quality. They're the internal. qualities of the soul, natural. But at the same time, we have to work on them. Non-violence, truthfulness. It's not like one day we'll wake up and we'll become non-violence and truthful. No, we have to work on them. We have to see where we are lacking and how to work on them so we become dear to Krishna. Shammo man nishtita buddhirdam indriya samyamaha titiksha dukh sammarsho jihvopastha jayo dhritihi danda nyasa param danam kama tyagas tapah smritam subhava vijaya shoryam satyam cha samdarshanam anya cha sunrita vani kabibhi parikirtita कर्म स्व संगम शोचम त्याग संन्यास उच्यते धर्म इष्टम धनम दृणाम यज्ञो अहम भगवत्तमः दक्षिण ज्ञान संदेश प्राणायाम परम बलम. Absorbing the intelligence in me constitutes mental equilibrium, and complete discipline of the senses is self-control. Tolerance means patiently enduring unhappiness, and steadfastness occurs when one conquers the tongue and genitals. The greatest charity is to give up all aggression towards others, and renunciation of lust is understood to be real austerity. Real heroism is to conquer one's natural tendency to enjoy material life. So, heroism is not that we go fight with others. Real heroism, it says, to conquer one's natural tendency to enjoy material life. And reality is seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead everywhere. Truthfulness means to speak the truth in a pleasing way, as declared by great sages. Cleanliness is detachment in fruitive activities, whereas renunciation is a sannyas order of life. The true desirable wealth for human beings is religiousness, and I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, am sacrifice. Religious remuneration is devotion to the Acharya with the purpose of acquiring spiritual instruction, and the greatest strength is the pranayam system of breath control. Greatest strength is a pranayam system of breath control. Lord Krishna here describes those qualities that are desirable for persons advancing in human life. Shama or mental equilibrium means to fix the intelligence in Lord Krishna. Mere peacefulness without Krishna consciousness is a dull and useless state of mind. Dhamma or discipline means first to control one's senses. If one wants to discipline one's children, disciples, or followers without controlling one's own senses, one becomes a mere laughing stock. Means without controlling one's own senses, how we think we can control or guide children, disciples, or followers. But this is what goes on these days by so-called leaders and whether spiritual or political leaders. One must also sometimes accept material inconvenience to carry out the injunctions of scriptures, and that unhappiness must also be patiently endured. If one is not tolerant of the insults and abuse of others, not tolerant of the inconveniences that may arise from following authorized religious scriptures, it is simply foolishness for him to make a whimsical show of tolerating extreme heat, cold, and pain, and so on, just to impress others. So the tolerance of insults or abuse, that is more important. Concerning steadfastness, if one does not control the tongue and genitals, then any of the steadfastness is useless. Real charity means to renounce all aggression towards others. If one gives money to charitable causes, but at the same time engages in exploitative business enterprises or abusive political tactics, one's charity is worth nothing at all. So one likes to give charity, but at the same time he's exploiting in the business or cheating in the business and thinking by giving charity I'll be okay. My money, whatever I'm earning, is pure. That's not true. Austerity means to give up lust and sense gratification and to observe prescribed vows such as Ekadashi. It does not mean inventing whimsical methods of torturing the material body. Real heroism is to conquer one's lower nature. Certainly, everyone likes to propagate his own fame as a brilliant person, but everyone is also subject to lust, anger, greed, and so forth. Therefore, if one can conquer these lower characteristics generated from the modes of passion and ignorance, one is a greater hero than those who merely destroy their political opponents through intrigue and violence. So, this is the real hero, one who can conquer lower characteristics generated from the modes of passion and ignorance. One can develop equal vision by giving up jealousy and envy and by recognizing the existence of the soul within every material body. This attitude pleases the Supreme Lord, who then reveals himself, solidifying forever with one's equal vision. Merely describing things that does exist does not constitute the last word in the perception of reality. One must also see the true spiritual equality of all living entities and all situations. Truthfulness means that one should speak in a pleasing way so that there will be a beneficial effect. Means speaking truth in a pleasing way. If one becomes attached to pointing out the faults of others in the name of truth, then such fault finding will not be appreciated by saintly persons. The bona fide spiritual master speaks the truth in such a way that people can elevate themselves to the spiritual platform. And one should learn this art of truthfulness. If one is attached to material things, his body and mind are understood to be always polluted. Cleanliness, therefore, means to give up material attachment, not merely to frequently rinse one's skin with water. So that is cleanliness of the mind and the senses. Real renunciation is giving up one's false sense of proprietorship over one's relatives and wife, and not just giving away material objects. While real wealth is to be religious, sacrifice is the personality of Godhead himself. Because a performer of sacrifice, to be successful, must absorb his consciousness in the personality of Godhead and not in temporary material rewards that may accrue from sacrifice. So real sacrifice is when we sacrifice our ego at the lotus feet of the Lord. Real religious remuneration means that one should serve saintly person who can enlighten one with spiritual knowledge. One may offer remuneration to his spiritual master who has enlightened him by distributing the same knowledge to others, thereby pleasing the Acharya. Preaching work thus constitutes the highest form of remuneration. By performing the pranayam system of respiratory control, one can easily subdue the mind, and one who can in this way perfectly control the restless mind is the most powerful person. So controlling the mind is the most important control or austerity, and that is the greatest strength. And pranayam helps in doing that. Bhago Maheshwaro Bhav Labo Madbhaktiruttama Vidyatmani Vidhabadho Jugupsa Rira Karmasu Shrira Guna Nair Pekshayadya Sukha Dukha Sukhatyaya Dukham Kam Sukhapeksha Pandito Bandha Mokshuvit Murko Dehadya Aham Buddhi Pantha Manni Gamah Smrita Utpathas Chitta Vikshepaha Swarga Sattva Gunodaya Narkastam Unnahu Bandhur Gurur Aham Sakhe Griham Shariram Manushyam Gunadhyo Hiyadhyo Uchyate Daridro Yat Yastvat Santushta Kripano Yo Ajitendriya Guneshu Sakta Dhirishu Gunasango Viparyaya Et Uddhavate Prashna Sarve Sadhu Nirupita Kim Varnitena Bahuna Lakshanam Gunadoshadaya Gunadosha Drishir Dosho Gunastu Bhaya Varjita. So many shlokas are combined. And Krishna is further saying, actual opulence is my own nature as the personality of Godhead, through which I exhibit the 6 unlimited opulences. The supreme gain in life is devotional service to me. And actual education is nullifying the false perception of duality within the soul. Real modesty is to be disgusted with improper activities. And beauty is to possess good qualities such as detachment. Real happiness is to transcend material happiness and unhappiness, and real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. A wise man is one who knows the process of freedom from bondage, and a fool is one who identifies with this material body and mind. The real path in life is that which leads to me, and the wrong path is sense gratification, by which consciousness is bewildered. Actual heaven is a predominance of the mode of goodness, whereas hell is a predominance of ignorance. I am everyone's true friend, acting as a spiritual master of the entire universe, and one's home is the human body. My dear friend Uddhav, one who is enriched with good qualities is actually said to be rich, and one who is unsatisfied in life is actually poor. A wretched person is one who cannot control his senses, whereas one who is not attached to sense gratification is a real controller. One who attaches himself to sense gratification is the opposite, a slave. Thus, Uddhava, I have elucidated all of the matters about which you inquired. There is no need for a more elaborate description of these good and bad qualities, since to constantly see good and bad is itself a bad quality. The best quality is to transcend material good and evil. This is a wonderful instruction. Transcend material good and evil. Instead of seeing everything, oh, this is good, this is bad. Actually, in a way, everything is good for devotion, right? Whether we think we have bad qualities, right? So to remove them or to transcend them, that can only be done through devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is naturally full of six opulences, namely unlimited beauty, wealth, fame, knowledge, strength, and renunciation. Therefore, the greatest profit in life is to achieve personal loving service to the Lord, who is naturally the reservoir of all pleasure. Real education means to give up the false idea that anything is separate from the Lord, the source of all potencies. Similarly, one should not falsely consider the individual soul to be different or separate from the Supreme Soul. Mere bashfulness does not constitute modesty. One should spontaneously withdraw in disgust from sinful activities. Then one is actually modest or humble. One who is satisfied in Krishna consciousness and thus does not seek material pleasure or suffer material unhappiness is considered to be actually situated in happiness. The most wretched person is one addicted to sex pleasure, and a wise man is one who knows the process of freedom from such material bondage. A fool is one who gives up his eternal friendship with Lord Krishna and instead identifies himself with his own temporary material body, mind, society, community, and family. That is 99.99% of population. The real path in life is not simply a modern interstate highway or in simple cultures, a footpath free of thorns and mud. It is that path that leads to Lord Krishna. So that is the real path. The wrong path in life is not simply a road having many thieves or toll booths. It is that path that leads one to utter confusion in material sense gratification. A heavenly situation is that in which the mode of goodness predominates rather than that found in the planet of Indra. Whereas where passion and ignorance sometimes disturb the celestial atmosphere. Hell is anywhere the mode of ignorance is predominant and not merely the hellish planets, where according to Lord Shiva, a pure devotee can think of Krishna and remain happy. In hellish planets, Lord Shiva says this way. And that came in the story of that demon who Parvati ji cursed. Somehow the name is Vritrasura. Our actual friend in life is the bona fide spiritual master who saves us from all dangers. Among all gurus, Lord Krishna is himself the Jagat Guru, spiritual master of the entire universe. In material life, our own material body, our immediate home, rather than some structure of bricks, cement, stone, and wood. A rich man is one who possesses innumerable good qualities. Is not an erotic fool with a large bank account. A rich man is one who possesses innumerable good qualities. But in Kali Yuga, when you have money, you have all the good qualities. That's what people think because you have so many followers. So many people want to listen to you. Any word, every word that is coming out of your mouth, whether one is a wretched fool, whatever he speaks is nonsense, but people will listen to him just because he has money. A poor man is one who is unsatisfied, which is self-explanatory. One who cannot control his senses is certainly wretched and miserable in life, whereas one who detaches himself from material life is actually a lord or controller. In modern times, there are remnants of aristocracy in Europe and other countries, but such so-called lords often display the habits of lower forms of life. A real lord is one who conquers material existence by rising to the spiritual platform. A person who is attached to material life will undoubtedly manifest the opposites of all the good qualities mentioned here. And he is thus a symbol of going backward in life. The Lord concludes his analysis by stating that there is no need for further elaboration. Indeed, the purpose of life is to transcend material good and bad qualities and come to the liberated platform of pure Krishna consciousness. So thus ends the purports to 11th canto, 19th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Perfection of Spiritual Knowledge. So we'll stop here. And actually, as you know, I'm in Dallas, and tomorrow the Kirtan 50 is starting for the last 3 days of the year. So there won't be any class on tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and on Monday. So next class will be on Tuesday. Any questions or comments?
So Kirtan Fest is happening in Washington, Prabhu?
In Dallas. I'm in Dallas
Dallas.
right now.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it will go on till late at night, so I won't be able to
Yeah,
do that.
right, right. Okay, Guru.
Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day and have a very happy New Year. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank
Hare
you very much,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Wish you a
Thank
very
you.
happy
Same
New
to
Year.